What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. We got some mother freaking Yang Zing up in the hizzy. That crazy baboon. That angry baboon, 1681. Zero scatter? Wait, no. Is it skater or scatter? I would just assume skater, because, like, what would be scatter? Although that is a Yu-Gi-Oh term. We'll say zero skater 12. Alright, so I believe he ran in the Chi-Win with Manju, and then out came Jatu. So he's gonna chain to the effect. He sent Beyond. I don't know if it may have been another copy of Chi-Win that got thrown in the graveyard, and oh man, now I can't read Jatu. I wanted to see if it was gonna resolve or not. Okay, so it looks like it is going to resolve. I was thinking that it would. I don't want to say anything dumb. I don't play Yang Zing, and I know they can miss timing on their destruction effects, but I don't know like the other effects because I don't know this card verbatim, so I don't want to say it would and it would not. All right, so it looks like he's trying to get his two guys. Now, damn. See, I really wish I could read this card because I want to know if they have to be summoned in like defense mode or something, because like I want to know if Baboon, if he just did that so that he wouldn't synchro, or if he did that legitimately thinking that, well, he's in main phase 2, so I guess he can't, I guess he won't be able to kill the what's it called? I guess he won't be able to kill the Manju. And then obviously Zero Skater would draw 1 for the what's it called? The dark one that got flipped. I mean, I don't see that monster dying anytime soon. Alright, so he gets Chi-Win and Beyond, which I swear to goodness is what's in his graveyard too. Now, I can sync 4. I don't really know what that does right now. I kind of feel like this is a matchup where obviously Nekroz should just destroy, because I don't think that anything that this deck does really hurts what Nekroz is trying to do. So he summons Herald of the Arclight, which I'm so used to seeing that card used in Nekroz. It's almost like, wow, you can actually summon it. So he activates Yang Zing Path. Alright, he puts Chi-Win and the Beyond back. I think he draws, what, 3 cards? No, 2 cards, sorry. Yeah, he draws 2. When I said 3, I was like, wait a minute, it's not that good. Alright, so he draws 2 cards. Damn, this card is so expensive. Now, real talk, I have no idea what, like, Herald does. I know what it does when, I know what it does with, what's it called, with, in relation to, what's it called, going to, the graveyard and then you obviously getting cards. Let me just read Herald. I know it has something to do with negation. Okay, so if your opponent activates a spell or trap or a monster effect. Oh, wow. So you can just negate it by tributing the card. Ooh, doggy. He's got that skill drain. Oh. Let me just make sure. You can target this card. Or you can tribute this card. Now, I'm a little surprised because now his Arclight is in danger of just getting attacked and just dying. I thought maybe he would tribute the Herald and kill the Manju, and then maybe use skill drain on something else. But either way, it looks like he's gonna get what he wants, and he does have a wall too. This the Jaitu is like, that defense is kind of real right now. So now I assume he'll attack Arclight, and he does. I think Skater maybe should have just tributed the Herald, unless I missed something there. Let me just make sure I read this card again correctly. Okay, you contribute this card, negate the activation, and if you do, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah. It says during either player's turn or monster effect is activated, Manju definitely tried to activate. I think you could have destroyed it. Oh yeah, it can't die by battle because of Beyond. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot. I am such a bad player. I totally forgot it can't be destroyed by Beyond. Oh man. So basically, what, he's got a walking Alpha Nova on the field? Anytime, this is nuts. Anytime that Baboon tries to do anything, he can technically negate it. And honestly, now this gets infinitely interesting, because it's like with skill drain out, do you just basically all you have to do is wait for what? You just wait for the MST or Regeki or something? You wait for anything that would try and destroy this card or destroy your skill drain. Outside of that, you just kind of ignore everything, right? Like if he kaleidoscopes, I really don't think anything that he makes matters because this can't die by battle. So how can you kill it? That's what I'm trying to think. And it's not like you're just going to summon beaters and keep attacking over Yang Zings. That would be a really bad strategy because like they just keep on summoning other ones. And then on top of that, if your opponent has Chi-Wen in the graveyard, which I believe he does, then obviously you can summon that back. And if he adds Path, then it just gets even worse. So Yang Zing doing the damn thing right now. Skill Drain, such a good card. I really hope Konami doesn't limit it to 1. I can't really justify why it shouldn't go to 1. I just feel like if it goes to 1, I think there'll never be a reason to bring it back to 2. I think that it's fine at 2 because the way that Skill Drain is, it's like for you to really benefit from the card, you kind of have to have a special type of archetype. You know what I mean? Like, since Skill Drain came out, I think this card came out in either Dark Crisis or Pharaonic Guardian. I'm going to guess Dark Crisis. That's a long time ago, right? All right. How many archetypes have actually been able to take advantage of this card? Like, I don't mean shutting your opponent down. I'm talking about shutting your opponent down and enhancing your deck's ability. I would actually argue that only 1, and I said archetypes. The only archetype that I think benefits from Skill Drain is Cleafort because all their attacks fucking skyrocket. I mean, yeah, when I topped regionals, with TG Stun, I ran Skill Drain in the main. I ran 3 of them motherfuckers. But the thing is, the monsters that benefited in the deck were, Beast King and, Photon Saber Tiger. Like, those aren't even TG monsters. Those are not, monsters that are part of the archetype. So they benefited, but just in general, it didn't really add anything to Striker or Rush Rhino or anything. Actually, Rush Rhino ended up losing 400, but it wasn't relevant. All right, so it looks like Zero Skater is now going to activate Yang Zing Creation. I almost say Path there. Now, keep in mind, anything that Baboon does, he can negate. He can negate anything. This dude right here, it's pretty real when it's on the field. And obviously it can still activate under Skill Drain because it has to attribute itself as a cost, i.e. like Stardust or something like that. So it looks like he's going to get himself 2 monsters. Okay. And with Baboon only having 1 card in hand, I mean, would you want to waste would you really want to waste anything on that? Like, would you potentially want to, waste like a Valkyris on that attack or something like that? So he's going full guns. He's using Chi-Wen as well. So, he's going to use Chi-Wen, he's going to use Creation, and he's going to get 1 to replace the Jatu. So he's going to get 3 monsters, and that's a really big deal. 3 monsters is kind of a lot, especially if he's just able to synchro. Now, obviously, I don't know if he'll be able to. No, he might be able to kill. Yeah, he can kill the Manju because he can just get like. I thought he might get like Suani and just attack over it. So, all right. So he's gonna get Bixie, and he's gonna get Beyond. Don't know what he's gonna make at this point, but I mean, it's looking really good. I just feel like Yang Zing might wreck Baboon, and then I would try and play it, and it just wouldn't work like this. I swear to goodness, it wouldn't work like this. I've said it so many times. I wanted this deck to be good so badly. I want them to do more broken stuff. Like, the fact that they missed timing was so dumb. I still don't understand that. So Tower Knights and Shadows and Burning Abyss, none of those missed timing. And then this deck misses timing. It didn't make sense to me. Alright, so he's going to attempt to attack Manju. Manju dies. And I think that card's going to 1, by the way. Oh, snap. We got Tribute Summon hype. Okay. I was kind of wondering how he was going to synchro. I was like, well, you got 3 stars, and that's 5 stars, and that's 6 stars. I mean, I'll get you a Goyo or something like that, but I don't really know if you want to do that. So, but now, I mean, now he's got a lot more stars to play with. And Bixie, I think, is unaffected by traps, if I'm not mistaken. Looking for the word trap on this card. There it is. unaffected by traps. Okay, so whatever he summons from this, as long as he uses Baxia, it will not be affected by skill drain. Keep that in mind. Okay, I believe he got 8 stars. Okay, so yeah, he did get 8 stars. And it's spinning time now. Oh boy. Baxia is out. Man, this card is cheap as fuck now. 71 cents. This dude used to be like 15 bucks when it was first released. Actually, it was like 20. Oh, dude. If you don't know what Baxia does, it's real. Basically, you just, you look at all the worms that you like use to summon this guy, and then you just target like cards on your opponent's side of the field. And you start spinning shit back to the deck. Now, it does target. It's not like tiramisu level broken where it doesn't target. That would have made the card even better, but you know, you can't have everything. So yeah, he used 3 guys and he's getting 3 cards, and looks like he's gonna chain Mystical Space Typhoon on skill drain. I'm thinking Herald of the Arclight might be used, and he does use Herald of the Arclight, because now you put Baboon in a position where Baboon has to have like double MST, and even if you do have double MST, like you're still in such a shitty position because you're still gonna lose Valk, and you still have to deal with Baxia plus creation, plus 2 more cards, and an unknown face down. So yeah, MST is gone. Now, apparently he does not have, I don't know what that face down is. I don't know if he's setting his ritual spells or whatever, but no good. So that's all getting spin back to the deck. Oh my goodness, he hits him with another path. Dude, stop it. Stop it. So he's going to get a draw 2. I'm not going to lie, kind of pissed that this is still 16 bucks. Like, I know it's a secret rare and everything, but come on, man. It's like, come on, people. Who's playing this deck? Like, really? This card should be like 10 bucks, maybe. Reprint that shit, Konami. Alright, so he gets a couple of draws. Zing creation being 5 bucks, I can deal with that. Like, if I wanted to build this deck, and I wanted to set, maybe 100 bucks to decide, like, yeah, I could live with that. Me having to drop 16 on, creations would be kind of pissed me off. Okay, so now he's going to use Baxia. Oh man, and Baboon says, I don't want any more of that. Let me just see something right quick. Oh my goodness, that is too good. I didn't realize that, yeah, you saw how he summoned back Herald. He was going to be able to just keep using Herald every single turn. That is too good. So, apparently Herald of the Arclight has applications outside of just Nekroz. I'm actually a little surprised that this card never went up in price. I know that it did get reprinted in the New Challengers Super Edition, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was the New Challengers Super Edition that Herald of the Arclight got reprinted in. So I know that kind of like it gave like a lot more copies to people who wanted them. But I don't know. I mean, considering every Nekroz player needs probably like 2 of them, I thought it would have been like a little more expensive. I think if maybe it didn't get that reprint and Konami didn't throw out, double the copies, maybe it would have been like more expensive or something like that. Or of course, if it would have been something dumb like a secret rare or, I mean, this is a card that just has a ton of utility, but we're actually seeing that you can summon it and it has some pretty practical applications because him being able to stop that Mystical Space Typhoon was pretty big right there. I just thought, honestly, when he summoned it and he had that Beyond Protection, I thought that Baboon lost right then and there because he had the skill drain, and if maybe he had 1 or 2 outs for skill drain, like the Herald was just going to eat that. It was just going to eat it up. So it's like, there was no way that I thought he was going to come back in that duel. And he didn't need to, Zero didn't need to summon anything else. Like, he could just sit on the Herald because it couldn't die by battle and all his monsters floated. So, to really crack his board, he would have needed like Trishula or something like that. But obviously, Skill Drain just says no to that. So, now obviously Zero Skater is forced to go first here. And, I'm trying to think of the ways he can combat what Nekroz want to do. Obviously, Skill Drain is a real card, and that helps. But I don't know. Would it be too far to say that you should play 3 Mind Crush and Yang Zing? It seems like you play Mind Crush and everything now, right? So I think maybe Mind Crushes would be good. I mean, I like Chaos Trap Hole against the deck, but that's just me. Now, I don't know if, usually if people take this long, that means their hand is not particularly great. And there will be like random decks that use, skill drain throughout, you know, like decks that aren't necessarily benefited by skill drain, but they aren't really hurt by it that much either, like Zing, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't say that Zing benefit from skill drain, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, your monsters, like you can synchro monsters that are unaffected by the skill drain, so that helps, but I don't really think that that benefits you. Alright, so he's gonna activate Jatu's effect. He got rid of a Chi-Win and a Bixie. So Baboon does not have a Maxi or anything like that. Starting to see Maxi like less and less and less this format. I think it's good against Burning Abyss and like nothing else. I think it's okay against Teller Knights, and it's good against Burning Abyss, and I feel like it's completely fraudulent against Nekroz, because if you're drawing cards and they Trishula you, like if you draw that one card and you get trished, like it's just not, it's not good. Alright, so that's 3. Okay, I think he's going 7 stars. Okay, so he goes for the dark one. He goes for Yazzie. Sets 2 copies, sets 2 cards. And the Yahtzee is unaffected by traps, which is not really that relevant against Baboon's deck. I don't think he's gonna side in any traps against Zing. Maybe roll Decree, but that won't affect the monster anyway. And it cannot be targeted by anyways, which I'm trying to think. I don't know if that's that relevant either. Maybe a Castel play or something like that. But yeah, I guess that Firehand as well. You wouldn't want your monster to get targeted by Firehand. Yeah, that actually could be relevant there. Summons it in defense mode because it does have that 2100 ass, which is pretty big. So, and then he obviously has no hand, so there probably won't be any Trishula action. Baboon opens up with, is that Manju or Sanju? I'm gonna say that's Sanju. Wait, I was wrong. Okay, that's Manju. Alright, so obviously he has no fear. Can't exit on him either because you have way more cards, like over double the amount of cards. 7 on 3. Now this might be one of those duels where it takes Zero Skater a few turns to kind of get his deck revved up. I mean, he does have a synchro, and that's great, but to really like gain advantage, I mean, you know, he's down card advantage like 4 cards right now, so might take him a while to get back up. I think that new synchro that they have is really good. It's 9 stars. You know, that's a lot. So hopefully it'll be good, because again, I want Zing to be good. I really do. Wow, Rio's price is really going down $100. I think Konami should have made them a little more broken, because like I look at them in comparison to Shadows, and I'm just like, wow, the ritual summon, I mean the fusion summon got like leaps and bounds better, and the synchro summon just didn't. Like, yeah, you can sync, you can synchro on your opponent's turn, which is kind of neat, but it's not like godlike. Like with Nekroz, ritual summon got godlike. You can just search your spells from the deck. Like, oh my god, that's fucking insane. Alright, so you see him using Herald of the Arclight. This is going to be an Arclight war, apparently. Going for Unicore. And I mean, if you're a Zero Skater, you really don't have to do anything until your Yazzie is threatened. And if you didn't have a response on the Manji, you probably don't have a response to this. You can't Mind Crush him because you don't have a hand. So he keeps looking at his opponent's graveyard. The effects aren't changing, so if you read them the first time, you should generally have an idea of what the Yazzie has basically attached to it. I mean, those effects that people forget about. I'm not gonna lie, Zing seems like one of those decks that can be really good at a premier event, because I think a lot of people would forget the effects that are attached to your monster, and they might misplay a lot. Like, oh, I'm gonna attack your dude. Oh wait, you used Beyond. It can't die in battle. Whoops. So he goes for Brio. Okay. Now this is kind of bad because Unicore is totally negating the Yazzie's effect. So that's really bad. And then Brio can totally spin it. So he's going to activate Brio's effect. I think Unicorn is the biggest threat to him, honestly, like in this whole deck. Because Unicorn turns his guys off. And goodbye, Yazzie. So I'm pretty sure if you're Baboon, you just attack here. Like, I don't really think that there's a need to commit more monsters. Unless you really feel that confident going for game. Right now, you're still, I don't know, probably about 1,500 off. So he's going to attack for 14 and 23 and another 23. Okay, so he's 2,000 off. A lot more than 1,500. I'd probably just pass. Like, I mean, Yang Zing aren't the greatest top decking deck ever. So, but yeah, it looks like Unicorn is definitely the monster that's going to give him the most problems, because if he didn't have the Unicorn, he would have not been able to spin with Brio, because Brio targets and Yazzie cannot be targeted. So he didn't have skill drain, unfortunately. In his opening hand, he had 3 monsters. So, I mean, that only leaves room for a couple of spells and traps. And especially if he doesn't run 3 skill drains, if he only runs like 2 of them, then, I mean, it's just really bad. Alright, so, I mean, I don't know what Baboon's thinking about. Like, the only possible thing I would think about is making either Abyss Dweller or Rhapsody of Berserk. Like, there's nothing else I would think about. Now, not being hindsight 2020, I would have totally made Rhapsody of Berserk, because really just because of that card right there, like because of that, and you have Chi Win. I would have went after Chi Win, like number 1. The number 1 card I would have went after is Chi Win. I don't want you using that card. I still don't know if you can run it back though, unless you have Creation Set. But then you still have the Unicorn down there, man. The Unicorn is the problem here, because the Unicorn is not allowing you to use your monsters to their fullest potential. They made Unicorn so good. They really did. They wanted that card to to completely shut down the Synchro and Xyz game. It's bad against the Pendulum game. Well, no, I better correct myself. It's bad against what's it called? It's bad against Cleafort. There may be Pendulum decks in the future where it's actually not so bad against. Alright, so he's got 4 cards, and I don't know if Zero Scage is going to get another turn, because if he leaves a monster in his hand, there is a 99% chance he will get Trishula, which we already know is in Baboon's hand, so that is no good. He sets 1, and you have to keep in mind, this is where Abyss Dweller comes in, especially a 2200 Abyss Dweller. That's just going to stop any of your Yang Zings from activating. Okay, so what are we doing here? Alright, so he's setting 2. He's setting everything. No Mind Crush. No Trishula. Well, I mean, honestly, I might even still consider Trishula just to try and game him. You know what I mean? Like, because I would want to make Abyss Dweller to stop Chi Win from coming out, to stop if that is a set Yang Zing, to stop it from activating. Like, so I probably might need Trishula just for the damage. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit here and have to attack like 5 monsters. Like, I ain't got time for that shit if I'm Baboon. I'm just trying to end the game. We'll see what Baboon decides to do. Now, obviously, if he has a prep, or if he has a Manju or a Sanju, then obviously he can do like way more than if he doesn't. So he's going to Xyz. He only has 4 cards in graveyard, so no Daigusto. I'm going to say he's going to go for Abyss Dweller. Yeah, that makes the most sense. How much does this card cost? I'm going to put the over-under at $1.88, and I'm going to take the under. Wow. Way under. I should have put the over-under at 70 cents. 50 cent Abyss Dweller. My goodness. The card has no value. Alright, so he hits him with Skill Drain. Oh, Mystical Space Typhoon. Oh, Imperial Custom. What? Imperial Custom is chained. Nice one. So obviously, that card will resolve before Mystical Space Typhoon, which means the skill drain cannot be destroyed now. Legit. I mean, if you're a baboon, you don't really have to think, unless you're going to try and shark your opponent and be like, I wasn't targeting skill drain, I was targeting your face down. Like, don't be an ass. You know damn well you were targeting that damn skill drain. Now, he might be trying to think, what am I going to attack into? But, I mean, he put kind of like almost every monster back in his deck, so at this point, it could be anything. Like, who knows? I'm just going to assume you're going to attack into a damn Zing. I'm not really sure what else you can do here either. Imperial Custom looking very good right now too. Because if you have all of these cards, you can just flip them over before your opponent Denkos, and then they just can't do shit. Like they can't do anything unless they have the MST. But even like what's great about this is when you have the MST, you have to MST this first, and then you don't like get the MST skill drain. So it's like it's really, really good. And you can do it in like, all right, you can go like stand or draw phase, activate Imperial Custom, and then like draw phase, activate MST or activate skill drain. So there's no opportunity for them to like MST to skill drain unless they have like double MST. So it's really good. Because once this resolves is over. Alright, so he keeps looking at his opponent's graveyard. I don't know what you're gonna learn. Unless he's trying to figure out like the defense of the monsters. I mean, there are a couple of them with like 2,000 if that's what you're wondering. I think the proper play here is to attack with Brio, not with Abyss Dweller. Because you only need one attack to go through to win. So like, what does it matter who you, like, what does it matter if Dweller is the one that attacks directly? Like, if it's a Yang Zing, you're not going to get through this turn anyway. So, you know. Now see, this is what I mean by like, Nekroz players play slow. At the regional that I go to, I'm not going to tolerate that. If it takes you longer than 30 seconds to do any act, I'm just going to call a judge because like, I don't tolerate that shit. There's no reason why it should take Baboon this long to do a play. And Nekroz players, again, they constantly go into time because of the, well, not just because of the searching, but just because of how long it takes them to do fucking anything. So he opts not to attack. Fair enough. Now, at some point, he probably will have to do some type of attacking. Now, what sucks is if you're Zero Skater, you've taken a lot of damage, so the chances of you being able to crash your monsters into theirs and trigger a bunch of effects, I don't really know if that's going to happen this game. Unless you find some way to get a lot more life points. Oh, you know what? I totally just realized that's the same old king from Imperial Order, which I should have known because obviously that's the word Imperial in the name. So he activates Dark Hole. Fair enough. I mean, that's one way to get shit triggered, right? And it's Chi-Win. Okay. Now I wonder why he set his guy first, or why he set the Spell and Trap card first. Alright, so down goes Dweller, down goes Brio. And he's going to activate the Chi-Win effect. I guess Max C could be good against this deck, but I mean, I don't really know if that's meta enough to really include it. He has to be careful here about summoning like a beat monster, a beat stick or something, because, you know, cards like Valkyries plus Decisive Armor, they can do a lot of damage, even over your beat sticks. So that would kind of be an issue. But with Chi-Win, if I'm not mistaken, Chi-Win can get any monster in any position. I could be totally wrong about that, so don't quote me on that. Alright, so he's getting the big guy. He's getting him in defense mode. And he's going to pass turn. He already set that card right here in the back row, so nothing doing there unless it was another spell card. Play goes back to Baboon, who has not drawn yet. I would guess he's going to probably want to get one of his spells for free. the question is, where do you go from there? So once again, he's looking at his opponent's graveyard. I think he just wanted to get that Chi win in the graveyard so that he could actually have place later in the game. I think if Zero Skater can survive the next 2 turns, I think he can turn his game around. I think he needs about 2 turns, and it's not like he has a lot of resources to do it with. Everything that he has is pretty much right on Front Street. Alright, so Brio's banished, and so is Kaleidoscope. Oh, Mistake is played. Oh my goodness. That is huge. That is really big for Zero Skater. Because now Baboon is just forced to play with what he has. And he's already got skill drain on board. Alright, you know how I said he'll need 2 turns? I am now going to say 1 turn. Basically, I think that may have changed to 1 turn. I didn't presume that he was going to have Mistake. That changes a lot. And now you see Zero Skater passes. I think he's just trying to get his field established to where he just has, a bunch of monsters that can float, so that his opponent can't poke through. And see, what's good about Imperial Custom here is, even if Baboon just gets the MST, man, he still has to go through Skill Drain and Mistake. 2 separate cards doing just 2 things that Baboon doesn't want to see right now. Now, obviously, this plays into the hands of Zero Skater way more than Baboon. If you've got floating monsters, if you have Floodgates, then you're just in a bad position. And that right there is what I think Zero Skater needed to win the game. I thought he needed a second monster because, there may have been a way for him to get through this and then maybe like punch through another monster with like a decisive armor attack or something. He could be waiting. Zero Skater could be waiting for Baboon to commit cards to the field. Maybe that's a royal decree. Who knows? Now, personally, I think when you side in these type of floodgates that turn multiple cards dead against Nekroz, Dis, and Anti-Spell Fragrance, I don't believe you should side out your MSTs. Because most of the time these cards are traps, and I don't think that you want to lose to things like Royal Decree. So, I think you still want to have your outs to Royal Decree and still want to be able to keep your floodgates protected. Now, apparently, that's not Royal Decree. He'd have flipped it over already. And Baboon is kind of playing with fire here, man. You never know when your opponent can flip over Baxia and start spinning cards. Keep in mind, all he has to do is summon it in defense mode, and it can be really bad here. Now, you do have to be careful if you're Zero Skater, because you have to worry about Book of Eclipse. That's a real card. And I think you have to put yourself in a position where you can always synchro, which means you might have to keep a tuner set and a tuner in hand just to make sure, like, if one of the cards gets put face down, that you can still synchro from your hand. If your opponent has double Book of Eclipse, and they still can somehow like leave one monster face up, which I don't even know if it's possible, I guess that's just too good. But anyways, right now it appears that Zero Skater has slowed this game down to a screeching halt. I'm a little surprised that Baboon didn't side in Fire and Ice Hand, but that's just me. I guess he thought that there was a chance that Zero Skater might not put things in attack and defense mode, so he thought there was a chance that he could get stalled out, and that Fire and Ice Hand might not do much, because it's totally possible. With Yang Zing, they can literally just set everything. They never have to put a monster in attack mode until they have like the absolute green light and the green flag waving in their face saying, "Hey, attack me, attack me, attack me." Mistake is such a good card this format. I mean, it is really just fantastic. Alright, so what is going to happen here? He's just passing turn. Okay. Zero Skater must be waiting for something. Something still that he doesn't like. The thing is, outside of getting rid of the back row, I'm not really sure what Baboon can do. Like, none of the Nekroz monsters really do anything right now. I mean, I guess he could try and Trish into I guess he could try and Trish and put the monster face down and get rid of skill drain that way, but that's the only thing I can really think about. Keep in mind, even if he does, if he pays with Shurit, he won't get his effect from Shurit. Because if he outs the skill drain, he still has to deal with the mistake. That's just, that's a lot to deal with, honestly. So he ends up taking Nekroz Cycle and then setting a card. Got a lot of watchers up in here, man. 157. People getting excited for that Zing right there. I still wonder what Zero Skater is waiting for. Because you don't want to get rolled to Creed, man. I think you might be missing your opportunity to get it in. I don't even think you have to worry about Valkyries. I think you just have to start spinning cards and getting rid of them. But apparently Baboon doesn't have anything. Even if he had cards like Side Blocker, they just wouldn't do anything right now. Can't call Side Blocker, or can't call anything if skill drain's on the field. It's just not going to work. Alright, so what's he going to do now? Not to mention just the mistake right now. I'm pretty sure he has like 2 Brios in his hand and he can't use them. He probably has like a Preparation of Rights he wants to use. Because we haven't seen Preparation of Rights this entire game. He has 7 in his graveyard, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 8. You're 18 cards deep and you ain't seen the Preparation of Rights. Motherfucker, you got Preparation of Rights in your hand. That's a guarantee. He must have at least 1 prep in his hand. There's a possibility he could even have 2 in his hand. I think he has a Brio in his hand too. And probably a Valkyries. And I think this game may have swung on that skill drain when he tried to MST it and Imperial Custom was played. I actually thought about this card for a second in Sertaler Knights because we run Call of the Haunted and if I play Anti-Spell Fragrance, I've got Grave of the Super Ancient Organism I want to protect, Fiendish Chain. It's just really good, you know what I mean? So many different continuous spells. And then obviously I could just bounce everything with Trevor. So it would make it so my Fiendish Chains can't get MST'd. My Call of the Haunted can't get MST'd. It's just really good. You just have to watch out for a roll of Decree, but that card beats Sertelers anyway, so it doesn't really change anything. Alright, so Unicorn is summoned. And now you activate Storm. That sucks. That really, really sucks. Some people have been actually playing that. And some people have been playing that in this deck because it does clear fields and you can basically you can just give up your ritual spells. All right, so now he actually does get 2 cards because the Mystical Space Typhoon counts as a card on the field as well. Alright, so everything dies, and I want to see the chat's reaction. Yeah, a lot of people are calling GG on that. I think Storm is just really good in general. So Maju is flipped. And he's going to Xyz. Into what, I wonder? Like, oh, Heartland. Wow, he plays that? Who plays that card? Are you kidding? Wow, I've never seen anybody actually play that card in this deck. Okay, so Zero Skater ends up losing. I think Zero Skater punted that game away. I think he waited just so long. I don't know, man. Did he just not have any tuners or something? Because I think if you were waiting to make a play, you waited way too long. If he could have gotten the Baxia, he should have went the Baxia. I wouldn't have cared about the I wouldn't have really cared about the monsters. I'd have been just getting rid of the back rows because at some point I'm guessing that the Nekroz player will start setting their ritual spells, and if I can get rid of them, then you just have to redraw them, and they're not the greatest things to redraw anyway. So That's just how I feel about that. We'll see how game 3 goes. And I'm going to guess Zero Skater's going to go second. Because quite frankly, I don't really think that he cares about anything except the Unicorn. Like, that was the biggest problem in that game. Now, I think Baboon is going to side in Royal Decrees. I don't think he's going to play around anymore because he saw all that back row and it was really hurting him. Plus, you have to think about how much damage, like, if Zero Skater hadn't taken 7,000 in like the first 2 turns, he probably would have won that game because he could have put his guys in attack mode. He could have gotten to the monsters that he needed to by just crashing his Yang Zings. Like, he wouldn't have had to sit there and have to draw them out. You know what I mean? He could have just crashed and gotten to his guys that way. So I think there's a possibility though that Imperial Custom could that it could potentially clog in Sutella Knights though, because it's like, if you usually, when you start bouncing with Trevor, you've already won anyway. Especially if you bounce Fiendish Chain, because you get a defensive card and you take a card out of their hands and then you just get another card for the next turn. All right, so Baboon's going first. Again, I would leave my Mystical Space Typhoons in against in this specific matchup. If I'm playing with what Zero Skater is, I would probably leave my MSTs in just for Royal Decree. I don't want to get blown out by that card. If you're telling me that it's going to take him having Storm and MST to beat me, I think I'll take that. That's a lot. That's asking a lot of your deck, especially if you start with 5 cards. That's kind of asking a lot for you to open up with Storm and MST, or for you to have that specific combo to crack my back row. Not to mention, again, you're down 1 card and you can't play Storm turn 1. Like, even Cleefort can play Storm turn 1, but going first, Storm is just completely dead in your hand. So he's looking at his extra deck. It's also a really dead card if you have a monster on board, unless you're like summoning Sanju or, using prep. I mean, I guess it's technically good in the deck because you can summon Manju, or whichever one gets both of them. You can summon that. You can search a spell, set it, and use Storm. If you Preparation of Rites, you get the spell back for free, which means that you don't have to ritual summon with it. You can just set it and use Storm with it. And what else would you want to storm away? I'm guessing mainly just the ritual spells and just like dead shit that you might want to chain, like Book of Eclipse, to put your Manju Sanju's face down. So he opens up with Kaleidoscope, sends Herald, summons Unicorn. Okay. Searches out. I'm gonna guess just Brio because it gets the most shit. All right. Does get Brio, in fact, and okay, opens up with the best play pretty much. I'm wondering if he'll go for the Digustal Emerald play, where you get Digustal Emerald on field and you get to draw a couple of cards. It's really, really good play because it actually puts you closer to drawing out your anti-Floodgate cards, your Storm and your Mystical Space Typhoons and stuff like that. So he gets Valkyries. He hasn't used Brio yet. Okay, Preparation of Rites. So he'll add a Colossalus. I think he's trying to get 3 in his graveyard, honestly, so that he can use so that he can do that play, so that he can do the Digustal Emerald plus Valkyrie's play where you draw 3 cards and you add all your spells to the graveyard, or not from the graveyard. You trigger your spells and just put them in your hand. It's a really good play. So he uses Colossalus and Brio. I'm going to say he's going to search Shurit and the Nekroz Mirror. And again, I don't play this deck, but that kind of looks like what I would do, I guess. I don't play the fucking deck. Because then I would be able to summon Valkyries and I would have filled my graveyard up with monsters. Okay, so he gets Cycle. I guess I mean, does it matter if you get Cycle or Mirror? Like, honestly, I don't think it matters. I think you can use either one. So he uses Cycle for Sharit. Gets Valkyrus. I guess I would search for another Brio now for next turn, because I'm not going to do much else this turn, honestly. Yeah, there's nothing else that I'm really going to do this turn. Alright, so that's what he does. I think you see in the Daigustal Emerald, and then probably use Valk and launch both to draw 2 more cards. And then you activate the Nekroz Cycle, and then you add the what's it called? The regular mirror into your hand. Alright, so Daigustal Emerald. And now you can send I guess everything but Sharit, right? Now, at least if you're Zero Skater, you don't have to worry about the Unicorn. So you can go straight into your Synchro if that play is accessible to you. Now, I have seen some people go into Lavalval Chain and stack a specific card that they want to draw, like a specific monster, maybe a Maxi or something like that, that they want to use against their opponent, and then play Valkyrus so that they know that they draw the card. But I'm guessing that he'll probably just want to draw 3 cards. It's really good because it puts you at 6 cards. So, I mean, again, you opened with 5 and now you have 6. So Brio and probably Colossalus. He'll probably just leave Sharit in the graveyard, put back the Colossalus to draw 1. Okay, Nekroz players in their 5-minute opening turns. Yeah, I'm bringing a stopwatch to the next regionals. Because right now, I would be telling my opponent, like, hey, you only get 3 minutes per turn, so. Actually, they need to minimize that. 3 minutes per turn is way too long. You only get 40 minutes for a whole fucking game. So what if you go, I mean, if you go like 6 turns deep and each player uses 3 minutes, then that's 18 minutes between the 2 of them. You know what I mean? That's 30 fucking 6 minutes used in one game. Like, they need to kill that shit. It needs to be like a minute and a half per turn. You shouldn't get 3 minutes for a turn, but I think you get 3 minutes in a turn. I think that's entirely too much though, because yeah, again, if both players use those 3 minutes, you literally could have a 35-minute, 36-minute game 1. And who the fuck has time for that shit? Nobody has time for that, because you're not gonna finish, and then you go into time, and that's just bullshit. Now, he didn't tribute the Valkyrus, which I'm a little surprised about, but I mean, I guess he could tribute it next turn. Wants to keep a beater on board, right? I think I'd attributed the Valkyrus and just drew 2 more cards, or just drew another card and then used my my Nekroz mirror, or my Nekroz cycle to get a mirror too. Alright, so he draws 1. Now that's something we didn't see in the other games. We didn't really see him activate Upstart Goblin, or at least I didn't think I saw it. Now he says you open God. I mean, that's pretty typical of Nekroz. One of the most consistent decks we've ever seen in this game's history, so nothing new there. Question is, how does Yang Zing fight back? Alright, if you bricked, you bricked. Hope that you didn't draw too many monsters, because that is terrible on Yang Zing. There's, outside of Jatu, there's just not a lot of ways to get monsters out of your hand in Yang Zing, except normal summoning them or setting them. That's another thing that I wasn't crazy about. I guess they did get that 2 sets in, but I mean, it is what it is. So he has Suani, and he's just going to attack in the Valk. Won't take that much, only 1,000 damage. At least he didn't get blown out like he did last game. So Suani is going to die. And I'd be shocked if he got Chi Wen. Okay, so instead he gets Jatu. Fair enough. Now, what does he do with Jatu? I mean, the fact that he went for Jatu, that makes me think he probably has a lot of monsters in his hand. Oh man, double chi win. Ugh. Dude, he's drawing his chi wins like crazy. I mean, is he not like, how many chi wins has this guy discarded this game? Like 3, 4? I mean, he's been drawing tons of them. All right, so don't know what he's going to bring out. But I'm guessing he's probably going to want a synchro after he summons. Otherwise, I mean, I guess this is a way to convert monsters that are clogged in your hand to monsters on the field, even if you don't decide to attack, or don't decide to synchro, excuse me. Let me just read this. I'm just trying to see if they, okay, so they come out in attack position. Oh, is that Palau? Yeah, surprised to see that guy. Hardly ever see him. Okay, so he's got what, 5, 7? Oh, okay, so 7 stars, fair enough. Now he's going to activate Yazzie, his Scrap Dragon effect. Oh, that's a legit play right there. Okay, so down goes Valkyrus, which is good because you don't want your part, you don't want Valkyrus still on the field because your opponent keeps drawing cards and that's just no good. So now he's going to get Chi Win and oh man, he's going for the Herald play. Oh snap. I totally realized what he's going to do. He's going to go for that Herald play to protect against MST. Oh my goodness, this dude is smart. It just totally dawned on me what he's trying to do. He just has to watch out for obviously Unicorn. Unicorn is the fucking man right now. Alright, so now he's gonna set 2, 3. Excuse me. Dude, if he has skill drain, he might win. Like real talk, if he has skill drain, he might win. Unless he gets Denko'd. If he has skill drain, I probably will flip it over. Because if you get Denko, you're gonna cry. And I'm gonna cry too. Please, if you have skill drain, just flip it over. Don't even risk it, man. I'm telling you. Your opponent flips over that Denko, you're going to be so mad. Now, I'm going to assume that this can activate the damage step, too. Because, like, all the other hero cards can, so, like, why would this one not be able to? I mean, that's a really good field, too. I mean, you're neg 1 in the duel, but in the grand scheme, it's not that important because, you know, ritual decks, it takes 2 cards to summon 1 monster, so you know it's not that big of a deal. What you don't want them to do is summon monsters using like Dance Princess and Sharit and that damn Elder, whatever that old man card is, because then they can start plussing and they can start searching other cards and it's just not good for you. Now we know Baboon has a Brio in his hand because he searched it last turn. I wonder if he's hesitant to use it because of he might have Mistake on the brain. Because keep in mind, Zero has used Mistake. He used Mistake last time or last game, and it kind of shut down Baboon and what he wanted to do. Like he may be hesitant to use that Brio because that would be the first thing you think. Like I'm just gonna throw my Brio out there, give me another card. But he might be thinking about that right now. He might be hesitant to use it. So he ain't got Denko Sekka. Obviously, he'd already summoned it. Now it can't be Snatch Stilled, obviously, because it can't be targeted. But I don't think you would keep Snatch Still in against against Yang Zing. Why would you keep Snatch Still in? It can't be targeted, so yeah, it can't ever be snatched unless it's under skill drain. But it wasn't used. He didn't use what's it called to summon it. He didn't use Suani, so it's still sitting at 2600. Suani crashed into the Valkyrie, so Suani was never used for synchro summon. All right, so he's gonna activate. What, cycle in his graveyard? Okay, so yeah, he's gonna activate that cycle. Oh, there's a mistake. So looks like he's not getting anything out of this. And if you're Baboon, I think you feel good that you, at least you didn't lose out to, at least you didn't lose your Brio. That would make me feel way better that I didn't lose my Brio, but still you did lose some resources in your graveyard. Now Baboon's still looking in his deck. Maybe he has, a Twister and an MST or something like that. I don't know. He could, be thinking maybe he has a response for that. Apparently he does not. And now this duel is starting to turn into Floodgates versus, Nekroz, basically. And Zing apparently are in the lead because the Brio now can't use its hand effect. Actually, it can. Check that. It's just you won't get anything. This isn't Mind Drain, so you can still activate Brio's effect. It just won't do anything. Now, if you're a Baboon and you have Manjus and Sanjus in your hand, it's not really looking good. But how is he going to try and play out of this? Keep in mind, we're only one turn into this. we're like 2 turns into this match, or into this game 3. Alright, so he's gonna activate Mystical Space Typhoon, targeting the Mistake. Now I wonder if he'll activate Herald of the Arclight, and he does. So, goodbye Mystical Space Typhoon. That might mean that he does not have Imperial Custom. This is really bad because you knew that the MST was going to get eaten up by Herald of the Arclight. So that card's putting in some serious work right now. Especially if somehow he's able to summon it back. I think he might start having to throw Skill Drain, damn it, Soul Charge back in this deck. Soul Drain would never be in the deck, and Skill Drain is already in the deck, so. Yeah, I mean, could you imagine if you just Soul Charge back like another Herald? You Soul Charge back a Herald and then you're able to make a second Herald? Like, man, that's so good because you just have walking Solemn Judgments and they can't die to battle. So it's like, what is your opponent going to do? You know, whenever they throw something at you that would threaten your field, you just negate them and they can't do anything against them. I mean, this deck, Nekroz doesn't have any counter traps. Most decks don't have counter traps, so. You know, it's not like they're going to secret move you or alpha nova you or something like that to where they can get that effect through. So right now, if you're a Baboon, you're staring down a field of a big ass monster that cannot be targeted. You've got that Mistake, which is obviously hurting your plays, and then you have 2 unknown cards, and you've just burnt your Mystical Space Typhoon. So if you have things like Storm in your hand, I don't really know if that's going to work right now because yeah, exactly. if I'm Zero Skater, I'm like, what the fuck is taking you so long? Like, damn. No, it's not that hard. It's not that complicated. I guess he's trying to decipher what additional effects the Yazzie has. He says, I know, but can you speed this up a bit? I mean, yeah, I think most people, even you guys, the viewers at this point, are probably saying, hey dude, speed it up because it's kind of taking too long right now. And if you're playing against this deck in real life, it's frustrating because it seems like your opponent is intentionally, especially for Baboon to take all that time and then have no follow-up play. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Alright, now Yazzie looks like it's going into beatdown mode. And I guess that 1,000 life points that he gave his opponent is like not relevant because just cleared that. Looks like he's setting another monster face down. Wonder what that is. Probably a Zing. If you're asking why he didn't attack with it, it could be something like Baxia. Baxia has no attack, and a lot of the Zing monsters have like 0 attack. It could be this dude right here, the Chi-Win. He has no attack also, so. A lot of times you can't just throw your guys in attack mode because some of these dudes literally just have 0 attack. I think if you attack Zing monsters into your opponent, I think you should take no damage. Maybe that would be... Nah, fuck that. That wouldn't be too broken. Fuck yeah. I think you should take no damage if the monster attacks. Like, that should have been one of the ways that they should have helped the deck. You should be able to run Chi-Win into anything. Like, even a BLS. You should be able to run Chi-Win into a BLS and take no damage. That would be awesome. I guarantee you Zing would have seen way more play then. That shit would have been awesome. Because that's one of the problems with the deck is if you want to run your 0 attackers into monsters, you have to take a lot of damage. But if you didn't have to take any damage, that would have been awesome. If I was Konami, I would have added that into every monster. And when this monster attacks, you take no battle damage involving this monster. Or involving attacks with this monster. Oh man, Baboon is just passing. I think if you're 0 skater, I think you have to take this opportunity to get as much damage as possible in. Looks like he's going to do just that. Alright, so he clocks him for a bunch of damage. What are we looking at? 4,500 right there? And he's looking at his graveyard. Still have no idea what those set cards are. Oh boy, he's activating Chi-Wen. Okay, so he's going 8 stars now. He goes for Baxia, obviously not spinning anything because Baboon doesn't have anything for him to spin. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. He's gonna give up what's it called? He's giving up Suani so that he can get his Herald back. This is looking really bad because if Baboon was hoping and praying that he would be able to top deck a MST or something like that, it's not gonna happen now because he has that Herald. Alright, so now he's going to get another Chi-Wen. And he's going to trigger his Suani. Oh my goodness. I think he's going to make 2 of them. I just thought about that. Yeah, he is. He's going to make a second. He's going to make a second Herald. This is too good. This is too good. Dude, this is making me want to play this deck. Are you kidding? What are people saying about, look at this. Are you kidding right now? This is making me seriously want to play this deck, and I know it'll never fucking play like this when I play it. I really hope Yang Zing get broke, because I would love to play Yang Zing. They don't have to get broke, they just have to get, like, at least as good as the Tellers. They just have to get to being able to top regionals level. If they can't do that, I won't play them. But if they can get to that level, then I'll definitely play them. So Baboon is now looking at his opponent's graveyard. I think he's trying to decipher what monsters have what effects built into them. If I'm playing Yang Zing, as far as I'm concerned, that's your problem. You not knowing what the hell my cards do. He says, why didn't you Genlock turn 1? That's also a good question. I mean, you do have Dark Hole, so, you know, that's he may have been concerned about Dark Hole possibly. But Genlock does seem really good against this deck, so he may have sided the Genlock out. Against this deck, I don't understand why, because Skill Drain doesn't stop the Genlock at all. And I mean, I guess you have 2 Dark Holes and a Regeki. Like, those are 3 outs, and you might have a Book of Moon, so you might have the standard 4 number of outs. That's what I generally count as standard. If you have 4 different outs to Genlock, I play Book of Moon, Torrential, and Book of Moon, TT, and Regeki. So I have 3 outs. I could probably use a 4th one, but I don't like evac this format. I think that card sucks. He summons Manju. He can activate the effect. I don't really think it'll do much of anything, though. Maybe he'll just simply try and attack. I don't even know, honestly. If he does attack, I would not be shocked if he flipped over Yang Zing Creation. Just because we haven't seen it this entire game. So, Herald of the Arclight dies. Unfortunately, not really sure if his game state was advanced there, because you have to keep in mind, he can literally top deck any other monster and just get Herald right back. So, that's a thing. Not to mention, he still obviously has a second Herald on board, or he still has the other Herald right here just sitting there chilling. So he's going to activate Twister. Has to pay that 500 life points. He may have been waiting for a turn where he has multiple spell and trap removal cards. Alright, so Herald is used. That Twister is negated. I'm guessing he has something up his sleeve. It doesn't really make any sense to just do that play like that. Alright, so he just sets 1 and passes? Or maybe he's going to use Storm now. If he's been waiting this entire time for Storm, I guess now it's pretty much now or never, right? Now, what are those set cards on Zero Skater's field? All right, so it was Storm. Now he cannot, keep in mind, he cannot, I don't think Storm targets. Oh yeah, yes it does. I'm launching. Now keep in mind, I was gonna say he cannot activate those cards because he did set them, so there won't be any MSTing or anything like that. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Storm doesn't target. So you have to chain before, if you have like Imperial Custom. So he's going after Mistake, and I believe he went after this card. Yeah, you hit the cards at Resolution. Skill Drain. Okay, fair enough. But if you're Baboon, what do you do from here, though? You've already summoned. Alright, so now he activates Brio. If you can get the Unicorn Kaleidoscope, I think you might be okay. Or Valk, I guess, so that you can't attack. Sorta. I kind of get that, I guess. Now, you'll probably see Baxia in attack mode this turn. If nothing else, he needs to get rid of the Valkyries out of Baboon's hand. Alright, so what did you draw, Zero Skater? It'd be crazy if he drew Yang Zing Path. Like, that would just be the nuts now, because he gets everything back in his deck and he gets 2 more draws. Like, that'd be really, really good. So he's going to use Baxia's effect, targeting itself and the Suani in his graveyard. Okay. I mean, I don't think that changes much of anything. Oh, okay. Well, he is able to get Chi-Win. Now he's synchroing for level 5. Oh, he's going to use Ormades. Oh my goodness, it gained 500 attack. Oh snap. Oh wow. I was like, that's not game. Oh my goodness, it's totally game. It gained 500 attack. I'm totally launching. He just gamed them. There is no way he can use Valkyries. Oh snap. Oh my goodness. I want to see what's it called. I want to see the reaction. Yeah. This is 2800 attack, people. And this guy is 14. He takes exactly 1400. It took me a second to realize. I was like, oh my god, he gained 500 attack. Oh my god. Yang Zing in the fucking house. Well, at least Baboon took it. He took the loss classy. This duel took forever, but I think the payoff was worth it. What do you guys think? Thank you guys for watching as always.